Hi guys, welcome to a new series on my channel. We're going to kick off the series with one of my most favourite foundations out there, and I'll be ashamed if the reformulation is nothing like the original. This is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation, which they have now replaced with the Makeup Forever HD Skin Foundation. As you guys can see, I've used so much of this foundation up. That's not common for me because I have a lot of makeup in my collection, and yeah, so this is clearly one of my very favourite foundations. The shade that I used to use is Y445, which is now, or looking at their sort of table to figure out which is a similar shade, apparently it's now 3N42. We're going to try them out side by side. I'm going to try the old formulation on this side and the new formulation on this side, and we'll compare and see how they are. So I'm going to just do a pump. So I've pumped some out on the back of my hand. That was sort of half a pump. It wasn't even a full push down. I just love the finish of this foundation. It is such a beautiful foundation, and I'm absolutely terrified of the new version, because once obviously I run out of this, then I'm done. That's actually completely gone, so I'm gonna pump out another half a pump. So I should have theoretically pumped out a whole full pump. But yeah, I mean, the shade match on this foundation as well worked really well for me. It's one of the nicer shade matches that I have in my collection. Never felt that this foundation looked dry or cakey on my skin, or sat weirdly, even in my most driest skin conditions. It's slightly oranger than my natural skin color. I'm a little bit more olive, but it's not terrible, and I've always been able to make it work with concealer and stuff, so I've never been terribly fussed that the shade is slightly on the oranger side. I've always been able to kind of mesh it really well into my skin and get it to work, and especially down here on my chin area, it seems to work really well, because with Asian skin tones we're typically quite dark down here. So having a slight touch of orange base to your foundation or concealer can help kind of combat that darkness and help your skin tone look even more even. So that is the old formulation on my right side. You can see how it's just kind of, covered things up, and yeah, it's just such a nice looking foundation. I've never been disappointed by the look or the wear of this foundation. So anyway, let's crack into the new formulation. So the packaging is slightly different. I think I actually do like the updated packaging. This looks chic and classy, the black lid and the font and everything. The font doesn't seem to have really changed. It's just become a little bit bolder, but I think there's just something very snazzy looking and more modern looking about this tan color and tan shade. The old packaging used to be a plastic bottle, which actually, thinking about it for travel purposes, would have been a lot safer. The new packaging is glass, so it's definitely heavier, it's a bit more weighted, but I do just love the look of the upgrade. Not that this is bad, but this, I don't know, there's just something more chic and clean looking about it. Again, it's got a pump, so that is brilliant. I'm gonna give this a shake and just make sure, it's shaken up well. Here goes. Ooh, that just kind of squirted out. Did not expect it to. I'm cleaning off the same brush. Oh, okay, it's actually runnier than the old one. If I pump out the old one next to it, I think you guys can kind of see the difference, maybe. See, that one's a little bit more creamier and thicker in consistency. Okay, here goes. Has that same scent as the old one. I did have a difficult time picking the shade online though, because although they had a chart that basically told you what the kind of best shade matches for the old foundation shade was, looking at swatches and like the models' pictures and stuff online was just a little bit tricky. It was a bit difficult to kind of ascertain, you know, whether it would just sit right on your skin really. And so yeah, I did have a bit of a tricky time shade matching myself online. But saying that, I am not disappointed with that shade match at all. In fact, I think it's a better shade match than this. Yeah, it's a touch lighter, so it's not as orangey as the old shade that I have. So I think I actually do like this new shade better. And that little squirt actually seems to have covered my skin pretty well. Just trying to take out all of the foundation that I pumped there and really work it into the skin. Yeah, you can see that there's a slight shade difference there, so that one's definitely a tad bit dark on my skin tone, but the new shade is better. 3N42 suggests that it's a neutral undertone, which I totally agree with. I do have a slightly more neutral olive green undertone, which is very difficult to find in foundation, so I'm very happy that they upgraded their old foundation shades with more neutral shades. I did get this old shade matched in store, so I don't know if it was just at the time, you know, the lighting or whatever, the store members thought that this was a good shade match on me, and it's not bad. Like I said, it's one of the better foundation shade matches that I did have in my collection, but this one has just gotten even better, which I'm actually really pleased about. Right, I am gonna look at my skin sort of up close to see if there is any major differences that I can see in the foundations. Apart from the shade being slightly more neutral on this side, less orange on this side, formula and finish wise, I don't actually think there is a huge deal of a difference. This is the old, this is the new. I think I would just like to build each side up a little bit more to see if that changes things, changes the look of things. I already have a little bit pumped out here from the old shade, the old foundation, so I'm gonna just kind of use that and a tad bit more. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a thicker consistency, more creamy. It's not as runny as the new formula, but thinking that the formula, the finish on the skin is very similar. I've always liked the coverage on this foundation, and yeah, just the way it settles on my skin. It's never looked too thick or cakey. Pumping out a bit more of the new formula. I feel like it's actually dispensing out a lot more on the new formula. They do both have a scent, but I do feel like maybe it's a tad bit stronger with the new formula reformulation. I just love how this foundation applies. The old and the new formulation, it seems like you can keep building and building and it just looks like skin. It's very nice. Let me just finish what's on the back of my hand. I do feel like the new pump, the pump on the bottle is dispensing out more product than the old. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing for you guys. Or if it's just because it's slightly more watery feeling that it's feeling that it's pumping out more, but it's actually not. It's just that the reformulation is a little bit waterier than the old version. I have built up that side to the max, I think. I really like the shade match on the reformulation. I think I've actually done a decent job matching myself there. I just feel like the coverage is possibly looking a little bit more on this new side, because it just, I don't know, did it pump out more? I'm a little bit confused. I'm going to clean my brush off again, and I'm just going to pump out a tad bit more from the old formulation, and we're going to build up that old formulation side again and see if I can get it to match the new formulation side. I always felt that this was one of the foundations that never really kind of settled into my smile lines. Like a top-notch formula, like it doesn't look cakey at all. You've seen how much I've actually built up both sides. And yeah, that is definitely matching the coverage a little bit more. So yes, final thoughts and final looks on these. So major differences that I can see is definitely the packaging is different, which I do actually prefer the newer packaging style. Not so sure about the glass though, because that's going to make it harder to travel with. Maybe they should have kept it plastic, because that is definitely much easier, less prone to breakage, less heavier, less weighted, things like that. But saying that, this does feel more luxurious just because it is glass, it's heavier, it's just got a weighty feeling. The scent is similar, but I think I can smell it a bit more on the new formulation. But on the skin formula wise, I think they are actually very much the same. So, you know, the actual consistency of the old one is creamier, a little bit thicker, whereas the new one is more watery and runnier. But going on the skin, once you've built it up on the skin, same coverage level, that kind of medium skin-like coverage level, satin finish. It's not matte, it's not dewy, it's just in the middle, skin-like, satin-like. I like both of these shades. Like I've said, this shade has worked for years for me. So this was Y445, but I am glad that I managed to pick up the right shade in the new formulation, which is 3N42. So if you are similar to my skin tone, you have an olive base, more neutral base. If you are sort of a medium brown skin tone, then this shade should work really well for you. I'm so glad that the formula is not greatly different, although the consistency is different in the formulas. On the skin, the finish is exactly the same. It's doing the same thing. It's having the exact same coverage level, and yeah, I'm really pleased about that. So yes, I hope you guys enjoyed this video along with me trialing out these two side by side new series here. Did they really reformulate? And yeah, I've got a few more videos in this series planned, so keep your eyes peeled out for that. It'll all be coming around the corner soon. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it useful. It was definitely useful for me, because this is one of my most favorite formulas. You saw at the beginning how much of the formula I've used up, and I am determined to finish this bottle. So I will use up the old formula. I'm not going to let it go to waste. But yes, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and this ride along with me. Keep your eyes peeled out for more in the series. I hope you guys have a lovely day, a lovely week ahead, wherever and whenever you guys are watching this. Always let the light in and let your creativity flow. Bye.